And ladies and gentlemen, would you please also welcome on stage one half of our refereeing team here in Belgium, and that is the Calculator, Kirk Bebbins.
Well, hello and welcome back to the Oktoberhallen in Weser, Belgium for the second half of today's action, the evening session of day 2 of the Belgian Darts Open, the penultimate European Tour event of the year. This afternoon we saw the seeded players enter the fray, and it did not go well for the number 3 seed Damon Heta, who was beaten in a last leg decider in the opening game of the day. But what followed was 7 victories, all for the seeded players, as they made their way through to the final day of action here in Weser, our first ever trip to this part of the world on the European Tour, and only the second time we've come to Belgium full stop. Tonight we have 8 more seeded players in action against 8 guys who came through the first round yesterday. All seeded players you'll see tonight are major champions. Only one of the unseeded players you'll see tonight have won a PDC title of any sort, but that is the Belgian number 2 Kim Huybrechts, who was given a hero's welcome in Weser yesterday. He did not play to his capabilities, but he got the victory, which means he'll have a crack at mighty Michael van Gerwen. It is all set up to be an incredible night. And it all gets underway with another Belgian, Mike de Decker, facing the reigning European champion, Rob Cross. I'm Dan Dawson. Paul Nicholson's alongside me for the opening game of the night. Chris Murphy's with us as well as part of the commentary team. But Paul, Mike de Decker has never beaten Rob Cross. He wasn't great yesterday in beating his fellow Belgian Raymond Mandiao, and he's going to have to be so much better, you'd think, because Rob Cross has been one of the most consistent performers on the European Tour circuit this year. Yeah, that's why he's the number 2 seed now, that's for sure. And there's a big mental battle here for 2 reasons for de Decker. One, he's got to beat someone that you've eloquently mentioned he has not beaten before. It's almost like they're having annual battles where Rob dips his bread and says, yes, I'll have that, thank you very much. But also, based on the Kim Huybrechts and de Decker performances from yesterday, I think there is pressure on the guys playing here because they've never seen crowds like this before in Belgium. Tonight's going to be loud, it's going to be proud, so bring on the Belgians. Well, there we go. Rob Cross, 1-7-1 set-up shot to leave the 1-3-2. I've spotted an equipment change for Rob Cross, at least since the last time I saw him play. We'll discuss that at length, maybe, in the next potential leg. De Decker's going to get a shot for a 15-darter, possibly a 14. Double 14. Not very close, those two. I think that's one of the reasons why he punched his own hand when all 3 darts were delivered. 16 segment. Bullseye it is. For big bald Bobby Cross. Not quite there. Got to get closer this time. That's closer. 7s is there. And the first big cry of celebration from this Belgian crowd. Look at that smile on the face of de Decker. He's a lovely chap. Always really amiable, talks to everybody. He wants to win, but he also wants to enjoy this. Oh, I think I know what you mean about the equipment change now for Rob Cross. It's the stem, isn't it? It's the 2-part stem with a metal base. Yeah, it's got an almost an add-on weight to the barrel at the base part. So he's putting those polyflights into a plastic stem which has the weight towards the bottom, which means he obviously wants just a bit of micro weight in the middle. He's not wanting to change a great deal. He's used a couple of different points over the last couple of years, but predominantly it's the same flight, same shape of barrel, maybe tweak a groove here and there, but you can see the weight of the stem is at the middle, and it has to be something to do with this kinking to the right that we've talked about before. He's got problems
on double 16 and double 8 where the dart just covers it if it's on the outside. Maybe this will allow it to just fly a little straighter.
Well, this is for an 11 darter. Is there a kink to the right there? Doesn't look like it was, so if they are going straight, he uses that double 16 so much. The problem he was having, if it kinks to the right, misses outside, it gets a lot harder. You could see, despite the little step to the right, it didn't look like it was covering loads of the bed. He was just being sensible to avoid the flight of that first.
100%. Because in previous times where he misses double 16 on the outside, if he covers it, the way the darts fly, it's very hard to see it and to hit it. But that shot looked really straight. That's encouraging.
It is encouraging. He went to a longer point to try and combat this. Peter Wright actually has said he's had the same problem recently. And he's moving to a slightly different set. I mean, it's a set he's used plenty of times before for this evening, although whether he might change his mind between now and when he gets on stage in the 4th game.
They are definitely going straighter.
They do look straight there, don't they?
Yeah, I've actually seen that camera angle on Rob Cross's throw before. And they always seem to be flight to the right.
Oh, that looks good. Ooh. Can't fill it up, but it's a pretty encouraging start from Mike De Decker.
We'll forgive him for leaving 166 on this occasion. It wasn't his fault. Well, it kind of was because he hit treble 5, but it wasn't an intentional calculating error, which we've seen a couple of this weekend.
Oh, this is very good.
I think he's getting carried away with it. I don't blame him. Can you imagine what it's like if it's 5-5?
Well, look, he was up on stage yesterday, won his game against his fellow Belgian, but this time he's the only Belgian on stage. He knows the fans are going to be with him, and he started well. This is what he wanted, Mike De Decker. And I'd be quite happy to see Rob Cross in a bogey number while he's lining up this potential leg-winning shot.
Well, they're playing a bit of bogey number bingo on a Saturday night. There you've got a 166 and a 163, so there's only a few more to go.
Yeah, look at the lineup. We've got, I said, all 8 seeded players tonight are major champions. We start with the European champion, Rob Cross. Then we got the World Grand Prix champion, Johnny Clayton. We've got the Belgian #1, Dimitri van den Berg, a man who, his success at the World Match Play a couple of years ago is probably the main driving factor about why we're here tonight and why we've got this incredible crowd and even had them yesterday. I'm not sure this tournament would even be going on, certainly not in the state that it is, being broadcast live on Belgian TV and with the numbers that we've got, if it weren't for Dimitri van den Berg's efforts.
You know what, you make a really good point, Dan, because I've been asked personally about the boom in Australia, which was enormous around 12 years ago. I won a major before the boom. Well, actually, about a month after. But it was all to do with Simon Whitlock's World Championship running to the final. It's not about who does something first, it's about who does something best. Whitlock making the world final was a bigger impact than me winning the Players, and that was what set everything on its way. Dimitri has done something more than others before.
And of course, look, there are other factors at play. It's doing it at the right time. You know, look, John Park won 3 world titles. It didn't spark things in North America like we'd hoped. But what has happened, Dimitri van den Berg wins a major darts championship title and does it in the middle of COVID and lockdowns. When everybody's at home, there's a massive boom in people playing darts at home, and it's sparked something in this country. A lot of things have coalesced for us to be here with this sort of crowd. And now it's about making the most of it. Rob Cross sets this up. I'll run through the rest of the order of play for you momentarily. I think we may only be a couple of Rob Cross darts away from this getting tied up at 2 apiece. But if it doesn't happen in this visit, De Decker's there to pounce.
Double 16 again. Chance for De Decker. The number 2 seed is vulnerable. Oh, this is the best way. This is my favourite way of getting 62. Got to go 1. The double 8.
Well, he got 1 dart at a double of his choosing. But But Rob Cross does close that leg out. 2-2. There have been chances to break for both men.
It's really interesting, that almost polite clap when that double eight goes in, as if to say, oh yeah, good shot. And then Dedeka hits one, and it's as if everyone's just won the lottery. That's what a home game gives you if you're the Belgian, and if you're the away player, you're getting nothing.
Absolutely. So European champion Rob Cross, reigning Grand Prix champion Johnny Clayton, Dimitri van den Berg, the former match play champion, then the world champion Peter Wright, the reigning Masters champion Joe Cullen, Michael van Gerwen, the reigning match play and Premier League champion after that. Then is Adrian Lewis, the former two-time world champion and indeed European champion, who may not be at the European Championship again this year. He has work to do. And then it's the UK Open champion Danny Noppert.
How many majors are we missing there, considering tonight? Match play champ, Premier League champ, world champ, Grand Prix champ.
We haven't got the Grand Slam champion, Gerwyn Price.
There you
go. Peter Wright is, of course, the Players champion as well.
43.
Bobby, says Rob Cross, and waves that away. He knew it was a chance to get to a finish.
He's starting to hit that treble one a lot. You know, we talked about Cross's darts kinking right. Well, Dedeka's have a tendency to kink the other way, like Gary Anderson's darts have done over the last 4 or 5 years. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you do have to understand how your darts are behaving, and if that's what they're doing, you need to know what happens when they collide.
Well, sometimes it's going to help you, sometimes it isn't. It's the nature of it.
And there it helped him. The right side of the barrel was the kind side. Treble this once again. We could see the difference between the celebrations of the fans if a double is hit. But he's missed a single.
Do not miss the big number, as we call it, Mike Dedeka, and it leaves you vulnerable. Mr. Dart the bullseye in the opening leg to get a breaker throw. Gets one at tops this time. First chance at the outer ring for a break for Bobby Cross. And he smashed into that first dart.
Shouldn't have been anywhere close to it, really. Must have been a late release. 32. Turns into 16. And he doesn't get a kind kiss, to the chagrin of this very, very expectant audience.
That was an encouraging start from Mike Dedeka, but things are degrading pretty rapidly as he goes behind for the first time in this one.
I don't think I remember a crowd this polarised since maybe Graz, when Mensah Suljovic was playing against Johnny Clayton.
Oh, I don't know. We've had some pretty one-sided crowds over the last few months.
But it's so loud and so quiet. I mean, if you go to Graz and Suljovic is playing, or even Zoran Lerchbacher this year, which was really loud.
Yes, it was.
The quiet level of the away player hitting the double. You could barely hear the honey dropping on a waffle.
Quite so.
140.
Now you see that back leg coming up. It's always been a feature of the Rob Cross throw.
434.
But he is firmly rooted with that right side. It doesn't tend to rock too much. If that right shoulder was starting to drop, that's where he will have problems, because he'll tend to violently let that right arm go and try and hike that shoulder back up. It must stay in position, that right shoulder. And it is doing right now.
140.
A decent leg of darts to leave 46 again.
95.
Made a mess of this last time he had a look at it, a couple of legs ago.
He's keeping them all very quiet. He's got the same dart as earlier. Same result with an assist this time. I think even he understands how kind that little kick was to win him the 6th leg. He's not playing vintage, but it's good enough at 91 the average, just a shade under 92 in fact. And it's a I would classify it as almost a sneaky good performance, because the doubles are okay at 40%, and the first 9 at over 106 is acceptable, but we know what he's like. He's constantly talking to himself because he's wanting more.
Yeah, he has played some excellent stuff on the European Tour this year. I mean, indeed, across the whole Pro Tour this year, Rob Cross. First maximum for Mike de Decker. Hit 3 yesterday against Mandiao.
When he gets them, they're usually in clusters. Looking to double up de Decker. Double Decker! We were all calling for him to be called that, weren't we, instead of the real deal?
I haven't seen much of Jan Decker of late. 11 darter.
It's all a bit sporadic, isn't it? Bit down, then very up. Brought his average up about 6 points in that leg. That tells you how good it was.
97.
Winner's going to take on Gabe Clemens, who was honestly going to hit doubles with his eyes closed today. What a performance. 7 shots at a double, and he hit 6 to finish legs.
Yes. He was 5 out of 5 on the doubles going into the last leg and finished it with a double-double finish. It was a finishing clinic from Big Gabriel, the German #1.
You know, that's the 8th time in the European Tour's history that has been 100% for a player on doubles.
I believe it's only the 2nd game in European Tour history which has featured no missed starts at double from either player, because it was 1 out of 1 for his opponent Ryan Meikle as well.
Indeed, indeed. Oh, that's brilliant from Cross. Just that ability to find the top left corner twice, with that one just shielding the right side. It just goes to show what kind of touch he's in and what he can find under a bit of pressure here. I know he's got the lead with a break of throw, but he looks pretty comfortable in this spot.
Oh, how about this for a shot? Oh, well, a 174 would have been absolutely perfect. Even as it is, it's a good setup shot.
Oh, lovely switchback. Knew that the 57 was covered. Plan B was the 16, it worked. He's got problems though. Cross the silencer.
That is really, really good. The European champion, good setup shot, a potentially awkward 70, taken out in 2 darts, and all that good work from de Decker rendered absolutely null and void, and then he goes off with 44 in the next leg, and it might spell the end.
Yeah, speaking of the silencer, Jeff Smith was eliminated yesterday by his roommate Rusty Jake Rodriguez, who has found his way to Sunday, but Jeff's going to be making his way back to Canada in the next couple of days, and I know that they're having a bit of a rough time at the minute. So anybody who's watching in the east coast of Canada, you've got our thoughts. All the best to you all. In fact, Jeff's wife was at a tournament this weekend and had no electricity. Plenty of electricity here. It's palpable, because everybody wants the Belgians to play well and to win, but you fear the worst for de Decker here, because Cross has been classy.
Well, de Decker was always going to be up against it. Dimitri Vandenberg is facing Andrew Gilding, and Dimitri hasn't been in the finest of form in the last few weeks. Kim Ibrecht's, of course, got Michael van Gerwen.
Love that. Love that play. 133 downstairs gets you to 2 darter. 171 gets you to a better 2 darter. And de Decker's still swinging.
83. I could require 62.
Quick bit of maths on the fly from Rob Cross, making sure he leaves a finish. That gets him to double 16.
30.
This would be some way to finish it. He's going to go 54 first. Are you surprised by that, Dan?
No, not really.
56. I can require
It always used to be his route. He started to incorporate two treble 19s a bit more.
He doesn't want to leave the stage. And he isn't. Not yet.
Right in the corner, but that will do. Mike De Decker clinging on. Very little between them in the overall averages. De Decker, oh, there you see, matching him in the first 9, matching him in the overall. But it's the finishing that's been the problem. He is 4 out of 17, Mike De Decker. Much more clinical from Rob Cross. Now, it's not as if De Decker's been getting loads of chances in every single leg. He's tend to miss darts in clusters. So there aren't many legs you can point to and say, oh, De Decker should have won that one or should have won that one. But it's been a competitive game.
57.
He's definitely got the level to be someone firmly inside the top 40 in the world. But he's still learning his craft.
He is.
140.
What he has got is a nice temperament, passion for the game, and solid technique. It's nearly there. His positioning on the oche is great. He's got excellent balance, great stance. But every now and again, he's got a jagged dart, which just comes out a bit
85.
wiry. You know, the arm goes a bit flaily, or the left foot overtakes the right sometimes. He's just got to stay still.
Good last dart. It probably means Rob Cross is definitely going to go 18s here. Can he find the treble? Would have given him a match dart. As it is, he'll get 3 unless Mike De Decker takes this, and if he does, he's favourite for the game. Frustrating.
He's going to fear the worst now. You don't expect Rob Cross to miss this. He's been given excellent order over the last 4 or 5 legs because he has kept them on their seats.
And he dumps Mike De Decker out of the tournament. You'll see 3 Belgians tonight, but the first one has been sent packing. The real deal, posing some problems for the European champion. But Rob Cross comes through the test and sets up a meeting with the German #1 Gabriel Clemens in the last 16 here in Visa. Dimitri Vandenberg, the Belgian #1, and Kim Huybrechts will be on the way later on. But before that, it is Johnny the Ferret Clayton. He's got at least one fan in the audience. They've got their own little poster for him. And he takes on Dynamite Keane Barry, the very exciting young talent from the Republic of Ireland.